Rockstars, Eric Andres, your guitar sage here. Today I'm going to be teaching you the top 5 classic Ozzy licks that you can play today. Now there's many Ozzy licks that are amazing over many albums, but today these are the classic ones. Randy Rhoads, Jake E. Lee, and they're ones that you will literally be able to play today. We're not doing things that are too complex. So, you ready? Let's go! Bark at the Moon, boy oh boy. The first time I heard this lick, whoo, I had to grab my guitar. Now this one sounds a little bit more intimidating than it actually is, okay? If you can do any sort of basic tremolo picking here on your low, on your A string, you're gonna be set, okay? So you probably know that that's what we're pedaling the whole time. Let me show you the chords, and I'm gonna show you the way that Jake actually played this, because for years, and like most guitar players, they play it slightly differently. It sounds similar, but not exactly the way Jake did it. Saw a seminar that Jake did, and this is exactly the way he said to play it. So let's talk about these chords. First off, there's a slide. It's a power chord that you're sliding with the bass note on the D string, 5th fret, and you're sliding up a whole step. Okay, and you're playing that full power chord. Right? So that's the first one. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna drop the pinky, and in lieu of that, you're gonna play the 2nd finger. Okay, and then you're gonna slide back down to our original chord, which this is a G power chord. Okay, now this is where most folks mess this up, but we are gonna do it right. Here we go. Basically what you're doing is you're holding an F chord up here as if it's a F bar chord, A style bar chord, but in the F position here. And so you can either do this with playing 3 strings or 2 strings, but essentially you're gonna bar fret 10 on strings 4, 3, and 2. And then you're gonna drop that low note a half step. So now we've got 9, 10, 10. And then we have 5, 10, 10. So it's gonna sound like. And then one more back up to 9, 10, 10. And then back into the main riff again. Now, a couple other little things. We're gonna sum it all up together here. He does this fun little, there he goes. And that's 3rd fret. The second time he does it, it's the 5th fret. And then we have the very last little part here, which is going into the verse, So if we put this together nice and slow, it's gonna sound something like this. Now let's try the whole lick, but slowed down, all right? So even though I'm slowing this down, it's still gonna sound kind of fast because we have those pedals going, but I promise you, don't be intimidated by those. You'll get those, okay, in time. Nobody got this at first, neither should you. You should just do the practice, you'll get it, I promise. Here we go. And my friends, that is Bark at the Moon. Flying High Again, right? This one's off of Diary of a Madman, possibly one of my favorite albums ever. And this is one I didn't learn as a kid. It's one I learned later on in life, but it's really fairly easy, and it's using a lot of cowboy type chords. Seriously. A, D, G, and D. Did I say D? Yeah, D. So very, very simple. Here we go. It's gonna go something like this. I'm gonna turn my overdrive down here, my volume a little bit, just so you can hear this a little bit better. But essentially, what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold an A chord like you would, just using your first finger here. We don't need to play anything on the E string, the high E string. So you're gonna play. I tuck my hand underneath that first string there, and then you're going to play 3, 2, 4. Okay, and this is basically a D chord, but we're just not playing the pinky there. So you're gonna go. Okay. And just get dirty with all those inside 4 strings, right? I have my thumb muting that low E string, and I got my pinky under here muting my high E string, so I can just flank away at all 4 strings here. Now, again, right, we go to that D, and then we have a G. Do the rock and roll G, where you don't put your first finger here, right? You're gonna mute that 5th string there, so. And then you're going to, on the A string, finger 2, 3, and then a D chord, and don't hit that high E string again. And then we have double stops. This is strings 3 and 4, 5th fret, 0 fret. You can give that a little bit of a shake. And then we got this fun little lick at the end. Real simple pentatonic. Well, I mean, it's actually, there's some major thrown in there too, so more than just pentatonic. But basically, you're gonna be, this is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th strings. You're pulling off 1, 1 to 0, then 2 to 0, 2 to 0, 3 to 0. And actually, the last 2 you're gonna pick. So you're gonna pick that 3, and then hit that A chord coming back home, right? All right, let's look at the whole lick slowed down now. So. That, my friends, is flying high again. I don't know, right? The first track after Sabbath, this is on Blizzard of Oz. This is the song that everybody was like, what is going on, right? I remember the first time I heard this, I was like, I ran to get my guitar. Again, this is one of my favorites. Super easy to play. Again, this is one that I didn't learn until later on in life, but a super fun one nonetheless, okay? So let's take a look at this. Again, we're doing lots of pedaling on the A string, but we've got some other chords in there. We have a G, we have a D, we've got a lick that is similar to what we just did in in Flying High Again. To start off, we've got this slide from about the 15th or 16th fret. And we're gonna play a basic A power chord, okay? Strings 5, 4, and 3. Every time after that, when we play a chord, we're just going to play strings 3 and 4, pedaling the A still, so. 4th fret. 5th fret, do a slide again, play that rock and roll G that I was talking about, right? Where you do not have that 2nd finger down, or the 1st finger down, you just have the 2nd finger, you're muting the A string, and you've got the rest of the chord. D, but you're not hitting that high E string. You can, I mean, technically it would be correct, but you're just not doing that, okay? And then you're gonna bend that G on the low E string again, classic rock and roll style. So nice and slow, it's gonna sound like this. That part, let's talk about it. Real similar to what we did in Flying High again. What we're doing here is we're 3 pull-offs this time, so 1 to 0 on the second string. From 2 to 0 on the third string, we hit that twice. And then single times from strings 4, 5, and 6. So this will be 2 to 0 on the fourth string, 3 to 0 on the fifth string, and then bend on the G to the A again. All right, let's do that slow now. So the whole lick played nice and slow is going to sound like this. That, my friends, is I don't know. Mr. Crowley, let's look at this one. It's in the key of D minor. Very simple, it's a little unorthodox, but the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna hit a D power chord. Make sure that your first finger is bumped up against that low E string, so you get that nice muting sound, and then strings 1 and 2 should be muted as well, so you're just playing strings 5, 4, and 3. So you can hit all the strings rock and roll style, right? So, and then 0 on the A string, playing that F on the low E string, and then back to the power chord. Little slide on the low E string. And then we're playing a B flat. Now that's one pick. And then you're playing the chord again. So B flat, power chord. 1 pick. So you got a hammer, pull off, pull off. Single note there. You could hit the power chord, but easy enough. Yeah, right, Mr. Crowley. Saving the best for last, right? Crazy Train, you gotta know this one. It's a classic, and this is in F sharp minor. It starts off with this really cool technique that Randy did, where somewhere around the 24th fret, if you've got one, I don't, so I'm just doing this straight over my neck pickup here over the pole pieces. But essentially what you're gonna do is you're gonna have your volume down. You're gonna hit the harmonics there at the 24th fret, or you're gonna have to search for it if you don't have 24 frets. Most guitars don't. So you strum your harmonics on the last 3 strings. You could do the last 4 strings. I'm doing the last 3. And then you're gonna pull your volume up. It's got that really cool sound, like some overdrive or some feedback, right? And then you're to do your pick slide. You're using the side of your pick or the back of your pick. You don't want to use the tip because that's going to mess your pick up. So you're just sliding it. String 6, 5, and 4 is a good place to do it, as if you're on some rails on a crazy train, right? That's what you're going to do. Is that's very, very dramatic, right? Rock and roll. And then we're going into our lick. It's in F sharp minor. And it's just very, very classic, very classical style, actually, where we're pedaling a note back and forth. Okay, here you go, nice and slow. You've got the tab here, right? So we don't have to go through it detail by detail, but here you go, nice and slow. Now, one thing, when you're playing this, you do not want the notes to bleed together. You don't want to do this. That sort of thing. That's not the sound we're going for. We're going for a staccato type sound, which is when the note's played and then it stops as soon as it's done. The way that you're going to do that is you're going to be lifting your finger, or I should say you're lifting the string off of the fret, but you're not lifting your finger off of the string. Now, if that sounds complicated, it will feel complicated at first if you're not used to this. That's okay, it is for everyone, it just takes practice. But at first it's gonna seem a little tricky. You're not wanting to lift your finger off the string, but you're wanting to lift the string off of the fret. The difference is this. Here's the string off of the fret. It gets that nice staccato sound. Right? But if we lifted our finger off the string, we're gonna get that sound, which is poopy. We don't want that, right? So we wanna do something like this. Okay, and then if you want to give it a little bit of thumb pinch harmonic type of thing, which is basically when you take and you pick the string and that string hits the back of your thumb, you need some overdrive and you get that kind of nice type of sound. If you're playing it Zakk Wylde style, that's what it sounds like. Okay, that's called a pinch harmonic. All right, so we got the basic lick there. Then to end this, what we're gonna do, classic Randy style, we're gonna play a D chord, right? But the D chord, you're gonna mute the high E string and the low E string. Thumb's gonna mute the low E string. And the high E string will be muted by either fingers 1 or 2 or both. So, that high E string's muted, so you have it. And for the E chord, the next chord here, you can either play the full E chord, which technically, diatonically, theoretically, it should work, which it does, but you want to play it as if you're playing an E minor chord, but don't play the minor part of the chord. Mute it. So, the third string is muted. That's the third string. So we have... So, slowly, it's gonna sound like this. We've got the rise. That, my friends, is Crazy Train. My friends, that is it. Hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. I hope you sure did. And if you did, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button. Also, hit subscribe. Leave your comments below, because doing so, this way you're gonna let me know what I can do better. We're always trying to improve what we're doing here, so do that. And friends, do not forget, I have a free course for you at YourGuitarSage.com/30. It's the top 30 lessons I teach all my students. If you visited me here today, we do it. It costs about $1,000, but now you can just literally click on the link. It's free. Do that, my friends. As always, be kind to all beings. Do the right thing, always. Practice your guitar. I'll see you in the next video. Let me see your hands! I don't know what we're gonna do here. Like I just showed you that. Like, let's do that again. I literally almost hit that. That was the best throw I've ever done. Boom, we've got a video.